So thanks for being here. Let's connect to our breath. And through that breath awareness, finding centrality or core. So this is simultaneously finding centrality, depth, and interiority. It's kind of a plunge. We'll start with the hands, and we'll go through each digit independently with our breath. So we'll keep that connection, that really great connection to our deep Ujjayi breath. Let's start with the left palm facing away from navel. And we'll start with the littlest finger, lightly drawing back and mostly straightening the arm, the elbow. And then exhaling, feel the hand soften, open. The hip crease relaxes. The neck lengthens. And we'll just be moving through each digit at a time, so just change in accord with your breath pace. So I'm going to the ringed finger. And I'm only drawing enough back, enough pressure, and drawing back so that I can feel softening if softening should occur. If I draw too vigorously, I'll only feel stretch and that containment and that limitation feeling. So leaving some room for fluids to flow. So we continue through one hand, then the other. Taking moments for breath and feeling to unite. Go through the other hand. And you can alter the orientation of the palm so as to feel through the forearm area, through the bicep or shoulder. And we're just moving through the digits one at a time, but you might want to grab them a few or four at a time. Just connecting breath, hands, feeling. These are our elements of play, right? And just take your time to go through all the digits. When you're through, we'll move into half lotus left over right, as we'll be setting up a seated spiral twist. With our left leg atop our right, we'll twist to our left or counterclockwise. All right, inhaling, rooting down through the tail. The low back lifts, kind of buoys up. All the way through that upper back. Exhale, we'll turn to our left. Release. So unwinding with the breath. Usually inhalation will do. And we'll switch sides. There's this wonderful little Ashtanga pose, move, that can be nice to do as like little, in the interim, this beautiful pose where they take the forefoot and put it on the ground right next to the thigh. And sometimes just that little amount of turn and pressure is just kind of really nice for, so when we get those legs wrapped up. I just do it like a little rubber stamp. I just kind of smush in and out. It's a very challenging pose to get in safely for the knee, so it's just nice to move the foot, the ankle, the knee. All right, so I'm right over left, half lotus. Inhaling, feeling the ribs expand. And exhaling, we'll turn to our right. So I'm going to revisit this area today, this morning. It feels relevant. If you can feel and breathe, getting a sense of the interior of the spine, kind of those bone bellies, the bellies of those spine bones. Feel for the belly relaxing in front of the spine, so the spine has relief interiorly to kind of lift and expand. Feel the interior side of the spine relaxing in the mid-back area, the mid-spine area. And feel that softening occur in the upper spine. And follow that all the way through to the head. Because part of what we might be connecting to, this ligamentous structure, goes all the way into the interior of the skull. So follow it all the way up through the neck, the interior of the neck, the inside of the spine. And release. All right, so let's unwind. If you're wondering what that move is, I'm just holding my foot and I'm putting the outer quadrant of my ball mounds on the ground. Right, so I'm just kind of pressing through those outer ball mounts and then just letting it up. Let's lie on our back and we'll do some abdominals. In fact, we might as well do these abdominals while we're focusing through the outer quadrant of the forefoot. Why not? When I regard the outer quadrant of the forefoot, so it's like the littlest, say, 3 toes, I find that many of us people, we have some lost articulation in between those outermost foot bones. So let's go for that. Why not? Inhale, we'll float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. And keeping them uplifting, we'll feel the tailbone. I'm just locating it. Exhale, reach out through the right leg. And then feel for those outer and those littlest 3 toes and the associated foot bones. And just play with feeling space between those outer 3 toes and those outer 3 foot bones. Draw the low belly down. And then inhale, the right knee bends. Lift off the shoulder blades in case we set them down. Feel the tailbone. And then exhale, reach out through the left leg. And just for a moment, we can focus into those outer 3 toes and their associated foot bones. Draw low belly down. Inhaling, left knee bend. Let's do a couple more like so. And curl tailbone, exhale, right leg out reaches. Now because we're feeling into those outer couple of ball mounts and toes and foot bones, you may feel your foot turn in a little bit. That's fine for now. Draw low belly down. It's a lot of emphasis on that outer part of the leg. Inhale. Curling tailbone, exhale the left leg out, reaching through the outer ball mounts. Splaying those toe bones, those foot bones, and then draw low belly down. Do another like so. Inhale. Curling tailbone, exhale. Right leg out, outer right ball mounts. Draw the low belly down. Inhale, right knee bends, shoulders remain up. Curl tailbone, exhale, left leg out reaches. Outer ball mounts, outer toes, it's outer 3 toes or so. Splay, move, spread, pull, low belly down. And now inhale, when we bend the knee, we're going to revert back to our inner part of the foot. So curl tailbone, exhale, reach out through the right leg. And now feel the inner ball mounts. Feel the inner 3 toes. That middle toe kind of belongs to both sides of the foot in a sense. Inhale, bend the right knee. keeping the shoulder blades up, curl tailbone, and then exhale, reach through the inner part of the left foot, the inner leg, and drawing low belly down. So let's do 2 more per side, now focusing and feeling through the inner part of the foot, splaying the inner 2 or 3 toes and their corresponding foot bones. You know, as I'm doing this, I can quite readily feel the difference in the outer part of my foot. Now I'm coming in to feel the inner part of the foot, and it's the contrast is kind of stark and interesting. Great. Looks like that is complete. We will do a set of twisting abs with a mat. So grab your mat or your block, whatever you like to hold with the inner legs. Feel both halves of your sacrum on the ground. And then place the object between the legs to hold, to squeeze. We'll reach the legs skyward. And here we go. Inhale into low belly and low back. Elevate head, shoulder blades up. We'll squeeze the object. Splay all the foot bones that you have, toes included. Curling tailbone, exhale, reach elbows slightly toward that right thigh. Maintain the squeeze of the legs so they don't let go as you're navigating your torso to the right. Draw low belly down. Inhale, come back centrally. We'll keep the shoulder blades up. Can ease up some of that leg pressure. Squeeze object. Exhale, curling tailbone, elbows reach left. Splay all the foot bones. Feel the outer half. Feel the inner half. Draw low belly down. Inhale, come back centrally, shoulder blades up. Some leg pressure relief. And then squeeze. So add that leg pressure all over again. Curl tailbone. And now exhale, reach elbows toward the right thigh. And as you're feeling the inner forefoot, feel the inner heel, the inner half of the heel. So we can imagine, we could sense our heel has a midline. Draw low belly down. Inhale, come back centrally. Squeeze object, curling tailbone, exhale, elbows reach left. And as you're feeling through the inner left foot and the inner, I should say feet, feel the inner heel, the inner half of the heel. Reaching up through that heel bone, draw low belly down. I'll do one more to the right, one more to the left. Inhaling. Squeeze object, exhale, reaching right. Feeling through both the forefoot and the heel. Drawing low belly down. And to the left. And release one through. We'll be working lying pigeon, so remain on your back. Grab a hold of your right foot with your two hands. So splay the foot, really active foot, so there's some structure sufficient, so the ankle bones and the ligaments aren't just going slack, and we're not just pulling on the ligaments of the foot. So flex, splay, structure the foot quite powerfully. And with that right instep held over your sternum, your breastbone, connecting to breath, we'll begin to straighten the left leg. Now the left leg may or may not straighten, that's fine. But I started with the right foot over my chest. And if you start to reach into a snug spot, feel the back of the head relaxing, feel the neck structure soften. Sometimes sudden changes in the way our eye is focusing can give us a read into how our nervous system, how our body is perceiving this. So if I'll create an example here. So maybe my vision grew suddenly very clear and myopic. That might be an interesting little tell for a switch in my nervous system. So I might just connect to breath, kind of soften vision, and then just feel what that shift does in my pose. Well, let's release, bending the left knee toward the chest, releasing the right. So we're doing this lying pigeon by grabbing the pigeon foot first. So now it's that left foot we'll grab with both hands. Active foot, structured foot. Flex it back, splay all those foot bones, and then set the right foot down, and we'll start to gradually straighten the right leg away from the head. So the moment I start to reach that out, maybe I feel a little stiffening or I feel my head trying to claw the ground, and just pause. Maybe I can feel the neck and the head area soften. Maybe it's the vision. Our vision has a lot of connection to the back of our head. So I bring up these little details just in having spent, I think it's time well spent, watching, observing, and listening to therapists work with their clients and how they catch these really tiny fluctuations of vocal tonality or prosody or little facial movements, and often those tiny little shifts of vision or fidgets or verbalizing something or vocal tone is enough to really open up the door into some pretty cool, deep areas of interest for the client. Right? So we can release, we'll turn over, we'll press up for dolphin. So I like to bring up these little, almost like little individual anecdotal case studies, if you will, because they'll occur, and if we can catch them on our own, that might be kind of an inroad into some significant self-study. These little just vision changes, these little bodily quivers or fluctuations. I think it's really cool. Elbows under shoulders, forearms out in front, with the knees under the hips. Splay, open up the hands. Inhale. Palms contact the ground. And feel the degree to which there is contact. Is it tenuous contact? Is it full contact? Is it pressurized? Is it hesitant contact? Exhale the knees off the ground. And there's some incredible therapeutic modalities that do work with vision and these little fluctuations in the body. And the interesting thing is it really needs us to have someone watching us to do these therapeutic modalities. And we may not have that luxury every single day to have someone very carefully attuning to our body and mirroring us and watching us. So it's really cool when we can at least start to do that for us, right? We watch us, right? So we're going to take the leg up each at a time. Let's start with the right foot by wrapping the right foot toes around the left heel cord. So I'm just creating a little pressure on the back of the left foot. Deepening breath. And then inhaling, smoothly raise the right leg. Airborne. And we'll switch sides, bringing the right foot down. The left foot toes can momentarily anchor around the right heel cord, giving it a little nudge toward the earth. Pressing off of those arm bones. Inhale, smoothly elevate left foot. Now, having just done that little bit of work, feeling the foot in terms of halves, inner half and outer half, you can feel if you're pressing through the inner part of right foot. Maybe you've kind of splayed or collapsed your weight into the outer half of the foot, not uncommon. What do you feel as you transition weight into the inner half of the right foot? As you reach through the inner half of the left foot, include the heel in that midline. There you go. That's it. There you go. Mm-hmm. Good. Deepening breath, allowing the neck to relax. And we'll set that left foot down. And we'll place the knees down. Great. So when we stand, I just want you to know we'll do one part in horse and we'll do another element at the wall after this. So start to plan your mat path. But let's start in horse. Feet wide. Eagle. Eagle arms in horse. Inhale, reach arms out to the side, splaying the hand bones, the foot bones. Exhale, we'll go left over right. That's left elbow over right elbow. This is, I think, a really fantastic place to feel the halves of the foot. So just play for a few breaths, feeling the inner half, including the heel, the inner couple or few ball mounts. It's a very different horse stance than if we are feeling our pressure go primarily into the outer quadrants or the outer half of the foot. Include the heel. That heel inclusion will change the arch of the foot, right? Inhale, unwind the arms, we'll trading sides. Exhale the right over the left. Inhaling, unwind, straighten legs, heel toe, out of horse. And now our wall component, so moving our mat, our body, next to wall, we'll work downward dog on the wall. So I'll talk in as I'm moving in. So join me as soon as you have a place. Starting with that most native feeling downward dog. Taking a moment to splay the hands and to feel the degree of contact hands make with the ground. This might be a many year study in and of itself, as we're feeling the contact of the hands that they make with the ground. We're feeling also to a degree the way the heart contacts our environment. Hands are a rich area. All right, inhale, we'll step the one foot up hip height, and then exhale the other foot up hip height. Now, just for fun, I'm bending my knees a little bit and I'm keeping my feet on the wall so that I'm feeling the inner ball mounts. Totally changes the hips. You can feel the tailbone, the back, lengthen toward the sky. Let's just go for up to 3 or 4 more breaths. Nice. All right. Looks like we're in a good spot. Just take your time. We'll move back to our mat, standing at the top. And we'll move through some suns. There'll be some little pose dyads. So chair pose. Inhale, bend knees, reaching arms up overhead. Exhale, fold, softening the neck, the eyes, and all while the feet are active, contacting the earth warmly. Monkey, inhale, chest away from knuckles. So wherever you place your hands, feel chest lift away from knuckles, which of course straightens the arms, moving the shoulders down away from the neck. And now exhale, step or lightly jump feet back, chaturanga. I'm just stepping back. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Cobra is nice if you need a little more warmth. Exhaling, downward dog. Warmth as in movement warmth, right? If you need to move the spine a little bit more. Inhale, step left foot forward, warrior two. We're taking a chest opener, warrior two. The chest opener I'm referring to is interlacing hands behind back. Inhaling. Letting breath bloom under the chest bones and sternum. Exhaling, allowing the foot bones to kind of open. Now here's another place when you're feeling the active feet, the inner half, the outer half, or as if you are playing right on the midline of the foot, include your heel. Include the heel in that midline of the foot. Feeling the midline of the foot. These are just conventions to help us distribute and open to our awareness through both sides of the foot. Right? So I'm saying midline, it's a convention. It's just a helping, a guide. Triangle, release hands. Inhale, straightening left leg, straighten arms. I like to edge my right foot in a little bit. Exhale, lengthen left side, lengthen forward, and we'll set that hand down. Resting with the hands, spreading, feeling for that spaciousness through the chest and the shoulders. Even though it might be activating a bit to the groin or the inner leg muscles. But I can certainly notice my eyes, my jaw, my face, my neck. And inhaling, let's bring that right hand down, bend the knee. Exhaling, chaturanga, will step back to lower. Now you'll decide if you lower to down for cobra or through chaturanga for upward dog. Inhale. Come on up. Exhaling, downward dog. So So as we start to get into the foot and the hip crease, just keep noticing and feeling how the legs can help lift and draw the sit bones back. So all of these moves are just gently taking ourselves into this implied, expansive state. Implied, not because we have to stretch our body bigger, but implied as it will help us feel for a quality of spaciousness and thus fluidity in the body. Warrior two, let's do this other side. Inhale the right foot forward. And our chest opener, when we interlace hands behind back, exhaling, the knuckles down, the shoulders glide down. Releasing hands for triangle. Inhale, send them out to the sides, straighten right leg. Shorten stance as necessary. Exhaling, reach through the right arm. Reach, lengthen through the right side of the ribs. So I'm really letting my butt muscles be quite relaxed in this folding portion of the transition. And then once my hand touches surface, then I can always apply those glutes and those butt muscles to further structure and support. And that left heel, the midline of the heel, might be that really fun distinction for the low back, meaning feel the left heel. And as you sense the inside of the left heel, the outside of the left heel, that might help structure and support your low back, your sacrum, your hip. So we can refine our sense of heel to refine our sense of structuring and supporting our back, and the whole rest of our our bones. Good. Inhale, bending the right knee, bringing the hands down. Exhale, chaturanga. You decide if you lower all the way down for cobra or almost all the way down for upward dog. Inhale, come up. Exhaling, downward dog. And feel the inner half of the foot, the outer half of the foot. And if your heels touch the ground, then you add in feeling the heels contact. Lifting, let those legs help draw sit bones away from brain. All right, we're heading into vertical splits. Inhale, step your left foot forward. Use blocks if you love. Use wall if you love the wall. Heck, I'll be a wall supporter today. So here's where that midline of foot might be an interesting study as I step up onto that left foot, elevate right. Now I have my hands down on surface so that I can make those fine little shifts through the foot. And inhale, we'll set that right foot down to the ground for pigeon. We'll set right knee down. We'll walk the left leg down. So left foot over. I'm going to select a block to use in my pigeon. So when I use a block, I'm putting it on the sole of my front foot, in this case, my left foot. And this is so that I can feel the entire surface of the foot, the outer half, the inner half, the back half, the fore half. Okay. So this is an optional tool, but again, contact feeds us back information. So in a sense, I think there's some really lovely parts to like complexity theory, is that by opening up our senses, we're introducing more complexity, more complex, nuanced sensory input and sensory and I have the belief, I can't prove this, but when we work with complexity, I have the belief that if well fed, it can really help grow our brain, our body, can grow our attention. So the way that we attend and the things of which we become aware are changed. So I think it's a really cool place to play. How do I introduce more subtlety, more complexity as a form of a bodybuilder? And so one of those ways is, how can I soften? How can I soften to allow more refined, nuanced sensing? So I can feel more depth of interior, more of these layers. Right? And so many texts talk about the layered self, the historically, ancestrally layered self. How do I build the vision that can see in and through all of these layers and parts of self? And yes, I do believe it can start with our foot in pigeon. Inhale, we'll bring the hands under the shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. And so now feeling the contact that foot makes with earth. Forefoot, inner half, outer half. Heel. All right, vertical splits. Here we go. Inhale the right foot forward. I'm a wall supporter today, so with my right foot down, my blocks on the ground, I'm going to raise left leg up. The nice thing about using a wall is you can keep the vertical splits milder. So when I keep my knees a little bit bent in vertical splits, to me, this is my opinion, I can work this like a really deep warrior stance. So to me, it feels just like any deep leggy stance. Now, as you're feeling the halves of your right foot, maybe there's some associated weight shift. Or exactly. So as I play in those halves of the foot, my hip accommodates that so differently. Inner heel, the slight bend in the knee. I'm in a very different part of my hip. All right, here's our pigeon on the other side. Inhale, step that left foot down and back. And exhaling, we'll walk the right foot over. We'll lie the shin down. And something I'm using today, you don't have to, is I'm putting a block on the sole of my right foot. One of the things this can help you do is reach through that inner part of the foot. Many of us, we get into a pigeon, and if we put a block there, there's a gap between the ball mount and the block. That's how many of us come into pigeon. And the block just provides a way for me to feel this inner ankle, inner arch, inner foot. It's just one way. And when we release, inhale the hands under the shoulders, exhaling downward dog. We'll set the knees down. We'll take a final seated pose, twisting. So we've done this very classic seated spinal twist before. I have my left leg down on the ground and I'm standing the sole of my right foot to the earth. I guess we just did the right side. That's all right. We'll survive. Now here I'm pressing that sole of right foot firmly to the ground. Moving on exhale, I hook that left elbow over the right thigh. Okay. I'm going to move into interlock and let you decide if the twist is sufficient for you or if you want to play with the interlock and the twist. And then I'm going to encourage us once again to feel for the interior side of the spine, softening and continuous. These tendons have a have a name. I'm kind of following and tracking with the tendons that connect all of the interior part of my spine. And when we release, we unwind, we'll do the other side. So this classic seated spinal twist, I've got my right leg on the ground. I step the sole of my left foot to the ground. And then exhaling the right elbow over the thigh. Interlock optional. Yeah, go to the inside of the spine. I think you'll find there's almost kind of this. I think we'll find a lot of vertical space when we go to those tendons on the deep inside of the spine. I think we can find there's a freedom through the neck and the face and the head. And there's an ease there. There you go. And when we release, inhaling, unwinding, let's unwind it all. We'll lie back. We'll take a shavasana. And these moments of kinetic quietude allows all of those, or at least many of those changes to begin to register. So we're awake, we're alert, and growing as relaxed and receptive as possible. So in that softening and that receptivity, information is allowed entry, registry. And the beautiful thing is we don't have to sort it, name it, categorize it. We don't have to narrate it. It's just simply feel, observing, Feel noticing. Feel breathing. And in a sense, trusting the body knows what to do with this change of information. The body knows. So when you're ready, now we take a brief Shavasana. When you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side. Press to seated. Namaste.